Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 188, for the week of December 15th, 2014. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who is here with me this week?
Bryce.
Bryce.
Just Bryce. Charlie will be here very soon. He has a kid thing, and the weather's horrible right now.
Oh, this isn't horrible.
We were nearly flooded, like a near flash flood. This isn't Storm of the Century. This is Storm of the Century Part 2.
Yeah.
And
just flooded.
And yeah, all of a sudden we were getting a little closer with that water.
All of our out of state, at least the people in my office, people that are born, in other states and come here and to hear us talk about, the weather is so bad.
Oh, the Storm of the Century, it rained for half a day. Yeah, exactly.
We're spoiled.
It rained consistently all day.
And
it wasn't downpour.
No, it
just
didn't
rain.
It didn't even do that. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I moved out when I was a kid. I was like 13 years old or something. But I remember horrible storms and nor'easters and snow and terrible weather. So I'm not. Yeah, it's.
And you're so happy you're here now.
Oh yeah. It's not nearly the worst thing I've ever been in. But when you're not prepared for it, and if people don't know how to react to it, then it's not always the easiest.
When
thing.
it sprinkles here, there's 16 accidents on the freeways.
Yeah.
That's why traffic was so bad today. All right, this is bad podcasting, but traffic was horrible.
You could literally drive down the freeway on a cloudy day and turn on your windshield wiper and spray somebody, and they'd freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think your mic's on, Bryce. I think your mic's on, Bryce. Yeah, that looks fine.
Is it testing?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, if you can't hear Bryce, let me know.
Because it's intentional.
Let me know after we have put this recording up and we can't hear Bryce. So a few things to talk about this week. Now, this is definitely one of the our personal biggest news stories.
Well,
ever.
We can't lump Bryce in there if this is DC news.
It's not DC news.
Oh, okay.
It's not DC news.
Is it about the X-Men?
It is not about the X-Men.
Boring.
If you are a real fan of the Comic Conspiracy and you listen to almost every episode of this podcast, you'll remember back in episode number 3.
What the?
Whoa.
My book pick for that week was a book called Nonplayer number 1.
What?
I thought one of the best new books I had read in years. Guy named Nate Simpson, kind of a girl stuck in an art, like an MMO book. Beautiful art, great concept. Amazing. We sold a shitload of copies. I ordered a shitload of the second prints on number 1s. It was going to be such a big thing. That was 2011. I threw 80 copies of that book out after just years because the book is never going to come out. And Nate Simpson, the other day, updated that he has finished Nonplayer number 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, we finished number 2.
So,
did you not read his show notes before the podcast?
No, I didn't get a chance to do that.
Nearly the entire length of this time we've been recording podcasts is 188 episodes. Now, clearly, our podcasts are inferior in every way to a single panel of this comic book. However, if you shoved enough of our podcasts together, I hope you get at least, maybe, if not the quality, at least the quantity of a book like Nonplayer. So he, let's see, there's an article on Comics Beat. This is kind of an answer and a fact, kind of what happened to him. When Nonplayer number 1 was released, a few things happened. As I've detailed here in the past, there was quite a bit of distracting hoopla between promoting the book, fulfilling poster and comic orders, Googling myself, hanging out with all my new comic friends, talking to Hollywood big shot types, and trying to answer every comment on DeviantArt in a meaningful way. The amount of time left in the day turned out to be quite small, so regret number 1 is not having made more hay while the sun was out, because I had a finite window of full-time access to the comic, and a lot of that time was spent on things other than drawing. So a little glib in his response, but he ended up getting other jobs, working for a couple companies through Kickstarter that I think all kind of crashed and burned. Yeah. He broke his arm at one point, so yeah, it is very unfortunate this comic's taken so long, but yeah. I'm cool. I'm glad it's coming out. I'll order a couple copies. I don't know that anyone will care. It's unfortunate that this book's not going to come out on any sort of regular basis. I definitely want to read it, but
so we'll get one in 2015, and then we'll get another one in 2019, and then one in 2023.
Maybe every time a Justice League movie comes out, we'll have a new non-player issue. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad at least it's coming out finally. So, for those that have been waiting in awe for the next issue of this series, if you've been fans of our podcast from the beginning, you remember how much noise we made about that when it first came out. Like, we were pushing it hard as hell, and I have some closure on it at least.
we get one step closer to closure.
Yeah, one step. So, Bryce,
Yeah.
you watching S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, but dude, I've been hearing from my comic book friends and not from my comic book friends, from my non-comic book friends, that it's actually legit. They said, I hear that spoilers for S.H.I.E.L.D., by the way.
Well. Keep the spoilers light. We're going to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. later. About the mid-season finale. We actually have Flash, Arrow, and S.H.I.E.L.D. mid-season finales to talk about later this episode. So, have you?
Sounds good.
Have you watched any of those?
So I understand. So no.
Okay.
I've watched Flash, and I would like to watch all of them.
Did you watch the finale, the mid-season, or just
no?
Like,
I'm just like halfway through this first half. I'm a quarter of the way through, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I think that I've complained before about how for some of us that are married or long-term SOs, you sort of watch whatever your SO is also okay with watching.
Sure.
And so as a result, especially when you don't have as much time, because I get home at 8 o'clock at night and then I'm asleep a couple hours later. So you don't have as much time. You have to watch the shit that you're both going to enjoy. And she doesn't enjoy S.H.I.E.L.D. and Flash and Arrow, and I do. She also doesn't enjoy Walking Dead, and I do. So we end up watching. She's cool though. She like watches. We
really want to know what you're watching.
Game of Thrones and.
Slowly working my way through my Doctor Who Blu-rays.
Sons of Anarchy. I've had Ryan's Doctor Who Blu-rays for like ages because we crushed through the first several seasons.
Yeah.
And then like we got to the Matt Smith stuff, and she was just like, she was just. We're both not stoked on Matt Smith, and the fact that he's in Terminator is like, oh my god.
I like him, but I hated Amy Bond. I cannot deal with her.
Can we talk about before we talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. how ridiculous you two were falling over each other last week about the Suicide Squad casting, and how you were both trying to justify how it's good that Oprah Winfrey is like.
I think that's amazing.
That's an amazing pick.
If they do. I don't think she's going to be.
Oh, she's not. She wasn't part of the.
No.
No.
I
thought that's what you were talking about.
She's on like the rumored list of actors. She's like, according to the articles that came out, the first pick from Warner Brothers, but they have not signed her or anyone.
I thought it was associated with some sort of casting announcement. Because you guys talking about Will Smith and Oprah Winfrey and why it's so good. It's like Will Smith as Deadshot is like just terrible.
No, that's weird.
One of Brock's arguments was like, oh, the fact that you, or maybe it was your argument, I forget, but it was like maybe he'll play and you won't be able to see his face through most of the movie, and so it'll work. That was
Ryan's.
And it's like
his mustache actually works.
What mustache?
He has a mustache. If you look at like Google him and look at pictures of him, he has a mustache, and it actually works with Deadshot's mustache. He's just a darker Deadshot.
Oprah Winfrey is. I mean, you guys must be joking.
No.
By the way, Ryan, the other Ryan from that other podcast, has an amazing call with CCH Pounder.
Yeah.
She would be incredible. She would be like,
she's the voice,
like Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Like casting similar level. Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange. I like that a lot. I know that it's not as popular as Robert Downey Jr.
I think
Tony Stark,
DC's just going to go for names, not exclusively, but I think they're going to try to get some bigger names for their movies, which can and can't work. But I think, to me, I think she's a decent actress. I have nothing against her, and that is a huge.
What do you mean decent actress? What is she acted in?
I don't know. She was in shit like 30 or 20 years ago. Someone actually corrected me and said she was in stuff fairly recently.
So I thought it was attached to actual announcements. But I do think that she would be a terrible pick. CCH Pounder would be incredible. Maybe I'm just jealous that she's not being. Anyway, it doesn't matter because that wasn't a real announcement. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Go. That was total hijack. Go back to the.
That's fine. No,
are you watching S.H.I.E.L.D., Bryce?
The reason I asked,
but I do want to the mid-season finale, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
awesome. Like, I need them to move faster, like the DC shows. Like, it makes me so angry that the DC shows are all so much better, except for Constantine. But
end of the episode was like one of the shows,
Okay.
because I actually totally agree with what you just said. But the reason I asked is because, along with Mockingbird, another kind of actual Marvel character is rumored to be in this season of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, but we already talked about this.
Speedball.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you saw the finale with the emphasis on the Inhumans,
Yeah.
there is some assumption that, a lot of characters coming up that maybe would be mutants or some sort of other powered, maybe Inhumans. So there is some talk that Speedball which I'm happy just that he's invited, but having him on S.H.I.E.L.D. as an Inhuman could be.
Dude, you just... Yeah.
I'm happy that he's just there. I mean, assuming he's not
I like
awful.
that I'm happy that he's invited. Like, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that my beloved ex people could be associated at all with the
they're
Marvel
over at the
universe.
ghettos at Fox.
And they never will be.
No.
It's just amazing that Speedball has to be Inhuman because of legal issues.
You know
he's
what?
not a mutant.
Yeah, he's not a mutant, and he never has been.
No.
So that's fine.
But it seems like maybe they would.
It does seem like, because there's some characters that it's like, oh, really, you're going to make them an Inhuman? Like, if they have some sort of, I don't want to say deformity, if they look funny, like making, I don't know, Rocket Raccoon, like an Inhuman or whatever, because they just don't look human, then it's kind of like, oh, that's sort of a cop-out way of going about it. But to make like an average guy that doesn't need to be an Inhuman, sure, I mean, yeah, that's fine. And I know that, if you're okay with it, nobody else is a bigger fan of Speedball, so
Well,
they shouldn't care too much. That
If he gets exposed to Terrigen Mist, he can turn into Penance.
Oh Jesus! If what they do with the character is cool, then it's cool. He could be an Inhuman. He can get his power some other way, as long as
yeah, that's
true
what
to
I'm more concerned of, is if they actually stay true to the character, because and I haven't seen it, but I've heard that they've been hit and miss with some of the with like Deathlock was more missed. Mockingbird has been fine.
Yeah. We'll talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. here in a little bit.
But it is supposed to be like totally picking up and gaining ground and gaining speed as it should.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Two other kind of bigger news stories from this week, and it's funny that I usually don't think at the end of the year we hear a lot about big news stories, but these are actually two pretty big ones. Archie, the best-selling comic book every single month. Sorry, whatever else sells you think you sell.
Batman.
No, Archie is the number one selling comic every single month.
Wait, are you trolling?
No,
Batman?
I'm totally serious.
Is that real?
Yeah, Archie. I mean, it's just not through Diamond, but Archie is the best-selling comic every single month.
Oh, I thought you meant through you.
No.
No. Overall, in general, Archie.
I was like, Archie's not DC, you bastard.
Yeah. But Archie is actually relaunching their entire line of comic books. All new number ones, completely new art style. They're getting away from their old type of comic. So they're
not going to be Archie?
It's going to be Archie, but it's Betty, Veronica, Jughead and Archie, Kevin Keller. They're all getting some form of relaunch. And Archie is going to be relaunched by Mark Waid and Fiona Staples. With Archie Comics number one.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But what does that mean for Saga? Because Fiona Staples can't do 2 monthly books. Not that Saga's monthly.
I mean, she'll probably do the opening arc or something like that. Mm-hmm. But
dude, how funny that she went from just zero to hero because Brian K. Vaughan was like,
oh yeah,
yep, you.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think that there's so much like amazing talent that goes sort of overlooked.
Well, and Mark Waid's not gonna write Archie permanently or anything like that. But there's a bunch of their.
Well, he like randomly picked up Daredevil for a minute.
He's still on it.
He's going off, though, is a rumor, is that he's coming off pretty soon.
I meant, by the way, in case that was confusing, I meant minute as in the slang minute. Okay.
Well, you mean a Marvel minute, like 40 issues?
That's not the joke I was going for.
Yeah.
But I meant,
Like Bendis?
Not everybody understands my slangonology.
Slangonology?
Really? Only if I'm
That's what you're going with?
But, yeah, so I actually made some comment on Twitter the other day. I was like, what is the highest non-relaunch comic? Because they're relaunching Spawn, kind of, but I guess they're just going back. They're doing like a miniseries that they're going back to the numbering. And I said, wait, obviously it's still Archie. And then a week later, I guess it's not Archie anymore. Oh, all right, excellent. But they've done a few things. We have Afterlife with Archie. We have the new Sabrina book. They've done like the manga Sabrina series earlier. So they've tried these things on and off. But I think a pretty decent. They could do some cool stuff with this. And Afterlife with Archie is legitimately, I think, a really decent book.
I think with Archie though, the exposure that Archie gets is a mass. It's more in different avenues, and for them to change up, to kind of see how things work with. They're already doing phenomenally well for what they're doing, so why not try and change it up a little bit and see if somebody's going to grab an Archie comic off of a random shelf in a store.
It's it's not the 40s or 50s anymore. The styles have changed, and even though they've attempted to update the content of the books and the jokes and the sort of references, the art style, I think, is still such a traditional.
We're still it's like we're stuck in Riverdale from that time period,
right? And so having a brand new art style, line wide, having a very different sensibility, I think that's a good idea. Now, it doesn't mean they can't come back and do the old style at some point if they want to, but this seems like I've said, and a lot of people have said this too. The Archie is surprisingly one of the most liberal and one of the most experimental comic companies that are out there these days.
Right, but didn't that only happen a couple of years ago?
It's been the last few years. Yeah, it's been really the last couple of years. They've really tried to change their sort of, the view that people have on what those books are, and I think that's good. And I'm we sell a couple copies of Archie. We sell a couple copies of every Archie comic, and people buy them randomly. But this I could actually see people getting into and starting fresh.
I'll check out the first stuff with Field Staples and Mark Waid.
Right, and catching with a real all-star creative team like that, and catching both non-traditional Archie fans and a kid audience. If Mark Waid can write it for a very all-ages crowd, it could be it could be an even bigger seller than it already is, a big seller within the comic market as well as the newsstand market. So, yeah, very excited for this. And again, I don't expect that creative team to last, but
no, it's a good creative team to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now the big news for this week.
Big news, and it's not Marvel.
Bryce, did you look at the list of the DC canceled titles? Did you go over this at all?
Yeah, I did, because I read the show notes.
But did you actually look at the list?
Went over it with
did you look at the full list? I want to play a guessing game with you if you didn't go over the full list.
No, I read the full list.
Okay, never mind.
But do you still want to play a game?
No, it's fine.
I could have made a game.
I can ask everyone in the audience, and you can shout out your answers, and then I'll tell you what they all are. So we knew.
I would say almost all of them were not surprising.
Yeah,
there were some that were like, oh.
Well, so we knew some crazy stuff was coming from DC. Post Convergence, there was going to be some big changes. That's their 2-month kind of filler event that's coming out in March and April.
Let's just call it their moving event. Like that's they're converging on the West Coast.
So dude, but April and May.
As much hate as I like to spew at DC, even though I don't hate them, this is I think the best thing that they could do for this situation. I mean, you're moving an entire company. Just don't try to shoehorn books into those 2 months. Just
Well, I think
get through it with this event.
The filler month thing makes sense, and it seems like they're taking old characters and old concepts and creators that haven't worked for the company for a long time and having them come back, and I think that's a cool idea. And they've actually have order incentives. Now, this is a little the retailer conspiracy here. If stores order X amount, we actually get bigger discounts. Those X amounts are actually pretty low. They're much lower than I thought they would have been.
Wow.
Especially with now, not that the number is going to be probably hittable for a lot of stores, but it's
for the medium stores. It's a good number.
I think it's probably. I would think most stores could probably pull this off, which is going to be worth it for a lot of people if the little extra discount for the retailers, higher sales probably for DC, and they're not outrageous. I think they understand that this is going to be a rough month or 2 months for them, but they're trying to make a unit sale of it as opposed to a dollar
right,
market
that's what
sale.
I'm saying is that great on them for not just throwing up their hands and putting out just crappy, keeping continuity monthly books.
Yeah.
They're actually saying, look, let's try to work with the situation. Let's try to make it a unique thing, because it is a unique thing.
Yeah. What I would have preferred, we'll give you an extra like 10 or 20% overship on every book you get. So if you order 20 copies, we'll send you 24 copies, something like that, just as for free. I think that would have.
Yeah, but that seems way more complicated and would include, or sorry, require way more I guess, work around it.
Yeah, but we still have to hit order intentions and everything. But
that's true.
So besides that, they had said that some big stuff was going to be taking place after Convergence, and they're not shitting because they canceled 13 books along with all 3 of the weekly series. Although Batman,
16,
Batman Eternal,
but that's not really canceling; those are just ending.
Well, Batman Eternal is here's the thing: Batman Eternal is more than likely coming back, but let's, for argument's sake, say it's not. 13 books plus you have to remember the weekly series all replaced 4 ongoing titles. Because it's 12 issues if you hit your 52 number. So that's 25 books between the 3 canceled, 4 issues a month, and the 13 canceled.
Yeah, I thought one of the weeklies that they were going to do was the Green Lantern, but they never did.
They never did, right. Cool. So the canceled books, obviously World's End, Future's End, but those are, again, not canceled so much as the stories are wrapping up because that's part of Convergence. Batman Eternal, although Batman Eternal had said that there's going to be a second year coming, but it's not confirmed. Here's the list. Here's the game you can guess, Bryce.
I can't wait. I love games.
There's 13 books on here.
Okay.
I don't buy 2 of them for myself. Tell me which 2, okay? Here's the list.
Okay.
Aquaman and the Others, Infinity Man and the Forever People, Clarion, Secret Origins, Star Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie, Trinity of Sin, World's Finest, Arkham Manor, and that's totally just a mini-series. And I knew that wasn't going to last because they can't have that series last past Batman Eternal. Batwoman. Here's a surprising one. Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, and Red Lantern. They just took a fucking axe to the Green Lantern books, which I saw coming a mile away. And maybe the most surprising is Swamp Thing.
Nah.
That was the most surprising?
No. Well...
Wait, finish your list.
That's it. Swamp Thing's the last one. But it's surprising because... Well, it's not because they did this with Animal Man when...
Okay, can I guess?
When the creators left Animal Man, they basically ended it. Now that Charles Soule's leaving Swamp Thing, they're basically ending it. Doesn't mean they can't use it again, but yeah. So of those books, there are 2
by the
that
way,
I don't get.
Charles Soule doing a great job with the Wolverine, Death of Wolverine spin-off books. I'll get to that later this episode or maybe next week. But he's doing a great job. Anyway, okay, so you're not getting 2 or 3 of those.
2 of those books I don't get.
Okay, ready? My guess is Clarion and Secret Origins.
Incorrect. Clarion is correct. But the other one is...
I know what the other one is.
What is it?
Star Spangled War Story.
That is correct.
Really?
I don't get either of those 2 books.
I don't blame you for not getting that one. It just seemed like some crap book that you would get.
I don't get any of the War books. I've never got the War books. Now, Clarion, I totally would have got if it wasn't for Ann Nesenti writing it. She's awful. However, Brenda McCarthy, the artist, is incredible, and I'm so mad that she's writing this book.
Is that like Simon Spurrier doing anything X-Force?
You basically, yeah.
It's not that good. I've read it. It's not that good. But no, that list doesn't surprise me at all.
Pimp that art, interior art. Just flip through that. Tell me you don't think that's totally up my alley.
It's awesome art.
Oh, I love Brandon McCarthy.
Just because it looks like Frank Quitely.
I love Brandon McCarthy.
Quitely.
I think my only surprise on that list is Batwoman.
No, that was my biggest surprise was Batwoman.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. That tied, I guess, with like so many Green Lantern books. Like I could understand like canceling one of them. I was really surprised with Green Lantern Corps. No, I take it back. That was my biggest surprise.
Batwoman and Corps were the 2.
Red Lanterns, and what was the third one?
New Guardians,
that's right. I'm sorry.
So there's just Green Lantern and and Sinestro left, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So.
By the way, how Clarion, he had his own book? This issue 3 is the latest issue. What is he going to be up to, like 6? And
yeah,
canceled?
6 is the last issue, yeah. But I mean, again, it's a mini-series, right? That's how they pitch this stuff.
Arkham Manor, like the second...
that's how they pitched it?
Well,
no, they don't pitch... They pitch it as a limited series, but they act like it's an ongoing series when they release it.
All Marvel and DC books now are basically limited series pitched as ongoings, and if they succeed, they keep them going, and if they don't, they cut them, so...
I guess that's true. We've talked about that before. Anyway, this art looks great. By the way, Pax Americana a couple podcasts ago, I never got to talk about. I read, or should I say, quote, read, unquote. Dude, what the fuck? That is the weirdest comment. Like,
do you like that?
I listened to the podcast and I didn't buy it originally.
Did you read it
but then
backwards?
I listened to the podcast and then I listened to the opening lines of the podcast is Brock saying, well, did you read it backwards? And
Charlie's here.
Ryan was like, well, the 7th time I read it backwards.
Oh, and he stopped by and got Jack in the Box for everyone at the table. What a great friend. Oh, is that Starbucks I see too? Charlie, you're the best.
You're such a bad liar.
And
is that food just for Charlie? Oh,
he's got a nice Doctor Who cloak as well. Anyway, whatever. Clarion, can't believe he has his own book.
Well, here, Charlie can play this guess. Charlie can play this game. Charlie can play this game. Okay.
Ryan's been drinking.
Did you look at the list of the 13 DC canceled books? Did you look at the full list? Oh no, you did look at the list, didn't you?
I looked at the list. Evidently, I forgot how to do a podcast after.
It's this strawberry shake thing you got from Jack in the Box.
It's peppermint Oreo.
Oh, peppermint. Ryan's drooling.
Well, let's see if Charlie can figure this out. Of the 13 canceled ongoing books, 2 of these I don't get. What are they? Aquaman and the Others, Infinity Man. Sorry for everyone listening. This is probably super boring. Infinity Man and Forever People, Clarion, Secret Origins, G.I. Zombie. That's the Star Spangled War Stories. Trinity of Sin, World's Finest, Arkham Manor, Batwoman, Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, Red Lantern, and Swamp Thing. What 2 do I not get?
Secret Origin.
Why does everyone say that? I love Secret Origin. No.
Boring.
Oh, you mean you don't get...
There's 2 of these I don't buy for myself.
Quickly guess. This is a boring podcast.
Okay, so 2 of them you don't buy for yourself.
Yes. I stocked these. Well, actually, Clarion.
Okay. I thought you meant you don't get why they were canceled.
No. Here's the secret. Clarion, I don't even
guess.
stock for the shelf anymore. Okay, so
the 2 that you don't actually get.
I just told you one.
Yeah, what?
I just told you Clarion. Okay, it's G.I. Zombies the other one. Anyway.
Moving on.
I thought that would have been
S.H.I.E.L.D.
funnier.
has gotten really good.
But Charlie's
Ryan butchered that one.
But Charlie's he's not in podcast mode yet. Yeah, but this is huge. There's talk of this sort of mini DC reboot in June. Marvel and DC have both been, by certain creators, they've said that, they're being a little bit more open with their books. They're a little less continuity heavy. They're going to have more kind of pet projects, things like Gotham Academy, Gotham by Midnight, Grayson, kind of letting the creators sort of take the characters in different directions.
Anything not Bat Family related?
Batgirl. Well, but I think that's what this is, right? We're going to see that. I think they tried it with the Bat stuff because they knew there'd be some level of success there, and now they're going to try it with the rest of the
Well, I think in general we've been sort of seeing for a while books that just don't fit within any kind of even general continuity. I mean, the Harley Quinn book, while it's a fantastic book, doesn't make sense when you think about Suicide Squad.
Right.
And
Harley was one of the other ones. Yeah. Harley was one of the other kind of pet projects. So.
Yeah. So, like, for me, at some point you kind of have to go, no, we're just going to publish good books. We're not going to worry so much about
Well, I mean, a lot of
where
the
they
stuff,
fit.
a lot of stuff that came out of the New 52, people really latched onto those creative teams that really brought us something like Animal Man and Swamp Thing and, of the characters that weren't Bat Family.
They may not be the best sellers, but they were critical successes.
Yeah, they were critical successes.
And look with Marvel, you have things like Miss Marvel, Deadpool, Rocket Raccoon, Captain Marvel to a degree.
Dude, what those
superior foes of Spider-Man, Punisher. A lot of these books that
half of those that you just mentioned aren't going to be canceled though.
But what I'm saying is that they're sort of allowed to be what they want to be. They're not forced into being parts of crossovers.
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
like Access is affecting them or
right.
Yeah.
Axis.
All right.
Whatever.
Axis.
It's not AXES.
AX is.
By the way, can we talk about how Axis has turned a corner and is not the toilet event of the year anymore?
It turned and then it turned right back those last couple of issues.
What are you talking about? It's way better now.
Okay,
anyway, I have my list. It's not the best event of the year, but it's got way better with the last 2 issues.
Well,
is my
DC.
opinion.
So what you're saying is you love Apocalypse as much as I do.
So
More.
let's put a cap on this DC talk here. That there's going to be some major DC. The cancellations are the minor announcement. The new books are going to be the major announcement.
Are you going to announce what came out of that?
Came out what?
The war?
What war?
Darkseid? Isn't that coming? or is that something?
Well, I mean, we knew Dark Side War was coming. That's just the next arc of Justice League. I don't know if it's going to be an event book or something, but yeah, the Justice League book in March starts the Dark Side War, but we don't know anything about it. So,
cool.
They just announced it, but we knew that was coming at some point.
I would love to troll them about going back to Dark Side, but Marvel does it all the time. So,
well, I'll give you. We want to talk about some TV shows here, but I'll give you a minute for access. I will say this: first couple issues pretty shitty.
Yes,
I actually
totally
thought
agree.
the second arc, I was like, okay, it is actually kind of coming
Inversion,
around.
It's called Inversion.
Yeah.
And
now, I just the last two,
wait, I thought
especially
there's only been
the
one.
last one.
No, there's only been one in Act 3,
Well,
right?
the last
one of Inversion?
6 and 7.
So yeah, the last one of Inversion, and then the first one of As the World Goes Tits Up.
Yeah,
what's the actual name?
I didn't.
It's like As the World Fucking Turns. It's some
like there was a cool kind of twist, and it just didn't.
Dude, what are you talking about? The whole idea of like heroes actually going bad. You know what actually didn't happen in Forever Evil? That was like promised that the bad guys were going to become good and the good guys were going to go bad.
What are you talking about?
The bad guys became good, but there was nothing. The bad guys were the good guys were just trapped.
They were gone.
In this,
yeah.
they actually have the good guys going bad, which you never saw in Forever Evil.
So those two
and
issues,
yeah, the bad guys are becoming good. And by the way, why the fuck is Jack-O-Lantern on the bad guy Avengers? Like they could have gotten a way cooler roster than they did, but that's a whole separate podcast talk.
I love the Carnage book.
So the parts where
I haven't read it. Is it good?
Yeah,
the parts
good.
where Spider-Man, the parts where Spider-Man and
Deadpool,
Nova, yeah, were escaping from the Avengers and all that stuff. Those two issues were really good
because that had fucking Nova in it.
No, I hate this Nova. I hate Nova. That scene and those issues were good. I thought it just. The apocalypse,
dude. The whole fact that they actually have like heroes turning evil is awesome.
But they're going to be done in one issue. And
what do you mean done in one issue? It's been like this since the first Inversion book.
Here is the least.
They're 4 issues in.
Here is the least lasting death in the history of comic books. They killed Deadpool. Come on, he's back this week. He's not even
fucking
dead.
Talking about they killed Deadpool.
They killed Deadpool.
Did you read
7?
Yeah, no, I read 7. They killed him, but they fucking killed him like with their dick in their hand. They didn't really kill him. They didn't put any media around it. You know what's fucking bullshit is when they kill these characters and they have like some big event around it, like Stephen Colbert talking about the death of Captain America and all this shit. Whenever they say that they're like the death of Wolverine, that's fucking bullshit. With the Deadpool death, it's not a death. They didn't announce anything. They didn't say he's gonna die. He will be back next issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because they exploded his head, that happens every other issue in the Deadpool ongoing.
I guess.
So what the fuck are you talking about? Like the most unmeaningful death?
It is
actually kill him.
I mean, I was bummed that they killed the X-Force Deadpool.
I thought you were going to say the X-Force writer.
No, the X-Force. I like the X-Force Deadpool. The one with the gray costume.
Yeah, what are you fucking talking about? It's the same guy.
I know, but it's a different costume.
Any event.
I like
No,
that one.
I agree with you. They didn't really kill Deadpool, but that also, for me, kind of made the whole final panel like, oh my gosh. It's like, that's not even an oh my gosh. That's just they ripped
right.
off Deadpool's
I agree
head.
with that it's like I get that you're trying to make it. Oh my god, you you squished his head. Okay,
and then I'm actually really surprised you liked it based off what they did with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and Magneto.
Yeah, that's bullshit that they're treapsing. What is it to walk around? I think that it's treapsing. To
beat around the bush.
I'll take it.
Nope, that's wrong.
No, they're straight up not mutants anymore.
Dude, don't. Okay, that gets me fucking angry. I don't want to talk about that because that actually does get me angry.
They're going to be humans.
Like, oh, all of a sudden Magneto's not their father. I can't talk about that because we don't know that that's actually where he's going with that. If that is actually what they're saying, then fuck this book. Really hope that No, we don't know that that's where he's going with this. But the whole Scarlet Witch going crazy and she's the arch villain is like. Really, bro? Like,
I will bet
come
you
on,
a
you had to go
week's,
there again?
I will bet you a week's worth of comics for you, a week's worth of your subscription, that the movie Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they're Inhumans, and they're going to make them Inhumans post-Access. Oh, we were never mutants. We've always been Inhumans. We were raised on Wundagore Island, or what was it?
Wungadore.
Wungadore. And we were made by
with the Animen.
With the cow lady and
just so you know,
Bova.
Just so you know,
fucking killing
you know what's going to happen? Black Bolt will be their father.
No. What is our bet? What is our bet?
But do you disagree they're going to be Inhumans? I don't think so. I think they're going to be
What I just kind of actually
Dude,
just want to make a
week's
bet
worth
with you on the air.
It's a week worth of comic books.
I've been making bets left and right.
What is our
recently.
bet? What is our bet?
No, because they're going to be Inhumans. I don't have a doubt.
So what you're saying is if they're not, you're going to give Bryce a week's worth of his comics.
Maybe.
Is the bet? What is the bet? What are we betting on?
No, do you disagree that they're going to be Inhumans? Because if you disagree, then I'll take that bet. You buy me dinner. But you know they're going to be Inhumans. You're not going to take that bet.
Hold on. Okay, I need a minute to think about this.
You know they're going to be Inhumans.
That was such.
He's a cheap date. You can get him Jack in the Box.
Well, while you think about that.
That was such a fucking bullshit panel, though, when it's like, oh, my chaos powers are about to affect my whole family.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not affected. You're not my family. It's like, you just fucking undid, 60 years of continuity. Fuck
maybe.
You, Rick Remender. That's what I'm saying, maybe. So I don't believe... you know what? I will take you up on this bet. I do not think that they will become Inhumans.
You know they're starring in a miniseries post Access called No More Mutant, right? Or No More Mutant or Mutant.
So did you rig this fucking bet?
No,
you have all this inside
I'm going
info?
off the info that's been provided to me.
Look, I'm going to take you up on this bet. Everybody can be witness to this. A week's worth of books versus dinner. They are not going to become Inhumans.
Okay.
So at what point should
we shake on it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I can delete this podcast at any time. So there's no evidence.
See, this is me just actually wondering at what point, if they literally sort of troll you to go, they're Inhumans, but they're only Inhumans for 3 months before they determine that wasn't actually the Scarlet Witch.
They're mutant Inhumans. There you go. They're Inhumans, but they've changed.
Then it's a non-bet because then neither of us wins and both of us wins.
No, but
dude, how angry did that fucking panel make you?
Well,
it was bad.
It made me doubt it just because when Scarlet Witch showed up, I'm like, okay, hold on. Last we saw, Scarlet Witch and Doom vanished after casting the spell. They were gone.
Yep.
And then she's suddenly back, and she's suddenly spouting chaos nonsense again, which she hasn't done in a while.
Dude,
in that level,
it's so frustrating. It's like, really, Scarlet
and that's
Witch again?
why I'm saying, I thought the book actually made a turn and it was doing some interesting stuff, but then it kind of
no, that's one panel that you have a dispute with.
And if you're, I'm reading it and I'm not enjoying it, but even reading the other,
it's a fucking
Ethan
of the week.
Ethan becoming Apocalypse and all this stuff. It feels like.
That was awesome.
I love that part.
It inverted all of them, and nice Evan becomes a Lionel Francis Yu drawn fucking badass Apocalypse. That was an awesome scene.
I don't know.
As long as they don't undo it.
It doesn't feel like Apocalypse.
I hope they don't undo it.
Yeah,
and the whole was it. I think that it was Deadpool appealing to Apocalypse. Evan, I know you're in there because Deadpool and Phantom X have that that attachment to Evan, and look, I know you're not all bad. I know you're in there somewhere. That was great. The fucking X-Men are evil, and they're actually evil as opposed to any forever evil. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I actually really liked the forever evil event. I just think that it was half of a fucking, misdirection. Whereas this, they actually had the X-Men, although it's a little ham-fisted and it's a little wait, what the fuck? This isn't affecting any other book, but Wolverine and the X-Men and the X-Men have taken over Manhattan? Whoa, what?
This is what I was going to say earlier.
It's awesome.
Is that of the other Marvel books that I'm reading that cross over with it, it's really jarring reading those books because now it's what the...
Dude, you love to use the word jarring when you don't like something.
I know. Inhumans, I've been enjoying Charles Soule's story on it, but the Axis crossover is just out of left. It's like left field.
I think Amazing X-Men is the only book I read that crosses over with Axis.
Well, you're missing fucking out, dude.
And that's been good.
It has been good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, before we move on,
it's because of Chris Yost.
We're going to thank a couple people from Patreon for their continued support of us.
I love our Patreon backers. I get to be on more podcasts, which might actually make our Patreon go down because of Patreon.
And if you would like to back us too, you can go to patreon.com/comicconspiracy and give us as little as $1 a month to pay for awesome things like hosting and
more Bryce
and more Bryce and pre-podcast food.
If we get higher bids, does that mean and they say less Bryce?
Food for all of us.
I'll be sad and I'll go away.
Yeah.
No, I'll keep you.
So Ryan Hess. And we have to remind you to go to the Region Free Gaming podcast, which is rfgpodcast.wordpress.com. Go there, listen to him and all his friends talk about gaming and other awesome nerdy stuff. My girlfriend Albert Soy. Albert, you got to get me your info, dude. I'm supposed to pimp some stuff for him, and he's slacking. So Albert, hurry up on this, man. We'll do this forever, but you're missing out on glorious ad time here. Mike Campbell and Niall Thomas. So and Niall, I did not. We're going to be a little weird the next couple of weeks through this month. We're not going to do our normal Q&A stuff, and we'll have a little bit. We're going to do some best of episodes. January, all back to normal. So everyone, hopefully, stick with us through this kind of weird December recording. Plus, we're recording on an off day today, so kind of some weird shit. But besides that, let's move on. Arrow, Flash, Gotham. Who's seen what?
All.
Bryce, what have you seen?
I've seen the first handful of episodes of Flash,
okay,
and I
but
really liked them.
You said you did finish S.H.I.E.L.D. or no?
Dude, did you listen to me at all? I said I haven't watched any S.H.I.E.L.D. That's like the opposite of what you just said.
Brock, what did you watch? You watched
I'm caught up on Flash, Gotham. I'm behind on Constantine, and I just need to watch the mid-season finale of Arrow.
Wait, I have a question. Do you guys have DVRs with Comcast, or do you have TiVos?
I have TiVo.
I have TiVo.
I just do mine.
Is it a monthly cost, or is it just like a
not anymore?
I had a lifetime.
Yeah, I have a lifetime too.
Lifetime. How much is lifetime?
A couple $100.
Holy shit!
I just do mine on demand.
God damn it!
Because I can normally watch it within like a week or two.
I don't have. So I wanted to get my cable bill cheaper, so I ditched my DVR.
Yeah.
But now I don't get all the. Not that I would watch them anyway, because Kelly's like, let's watch Ray Donovan.
So for
watch them at 3 in the morning.
And Arrow.
Some of us have a normal job, Ryan.
You can do some coke and just stay up all night and watch. It's fine.
What do you mean? I can. Oh wait, what?
So we'll talk S.H.I.E.L.D. first. I guess we're going to do some mid-season finale talk here on these shows. If anything that you don't want to be spoiled, then you should probably stop listening to this podcast.
Wait, have you seen the mid-season finale, Charles?
Yeah.
And we'll be
my man.
We'll be maybe somewhat light on spoilers for episodes that people here haven't seen yet. But
I'm okay.
No,
we'll start with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Spoil away.
So I did catch up on S.H.I.E.L.D. Definitely better. Again, it's gotten way better as the show's gone on. The back half of season 1 was good. We talked about that, and season 2 has definitely been decent. But Bryce, you said you had a complaint about the Marvel shows versus DC shows, and you said you wanted S.H.I.E.L.D. to kind of get
the point. I just don't understand why it's like DC gets it, and they're just like they're look, both IPs have hundreds of D-list heroes and villains. Like, introduce a new one every week or two, and have some of the ones that are gonna be good for story and good for ratings and whatever. Like, have them come back or not. But like, there's so much IP that they can like add on both sides of the fence that like, what the fuck? Like, season 1 of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, oh my god, it was like I wanted to fucking hang myself in my basement.
Well. You're totally correct with this going into season 2 as well, because while I have enjoyed season 2, to me it is very low on the list, or it's bottom of the list when you compare it to Constantine or Gotham or any of the other DC shows. And for one major, the quality of the show is definitely improved.
No, that's wrong. You said it was above Constantine.
No, I love Constantine.
Well,
Constantine's fantastic. It's the worst of all the comic shows, but it's not bad. But something has to be the bottom. But let me explain to you.
But S.H.I.E.L.D. is the bottom?
Yeah, but let me explain to you. I still like it, but let me explain to you what my one absolute major problem is with this show compared to all the other ones. And it's exactly what you just said. Now, when this started, we were all like, oh man, I can't wait for Flash and Arrow on the crossover with the Justice League and do all this stuff. Now that time has gone on and we've had a few episodes from all these shows, I am so glad these shows are not crossing over with the movies. I want the shows and the movies to be...
because you were 100% wrong.
I know. I wanted the shows and movies to be totally connected, and I was totally wrong. They are so much better by themselves.
And I agree with that.
Because this is the problem S.H.I.E.L.D. has. It took half a season, and so there's going to be some spoilers here, for them to tell you one character is actually a real Marvel character that's been in like 3 books. And then they introduced another superhero in the very last shot.
What are you talking about, season 1 or 2?
Season 2.
Dude, but like, what about season 1 where they
hold on.
No, what do you mean hold on? I'm talking about season 1, which is...
I know. But what I'm saying is, so it took what, the 10 episodes or whatever they've had this season, so half a season, for them to introduce, and then a second character that was just created in the comics to match up to their appearance in S.H.I.E.L.D. So a character that's barely had any appearances and a character that was basically made for the TV show. Not that that's bad, because you have Harley Quinn, you have all these other great characters that were made for TV shows, but they're not able to use their stable of Marvel characters because nearly every character is going to be saved for the movies. This is in contrast.
Is that why?
Yeah. I mean, they can have Speedball, and that's great, but there's literally limits to what they can use.
That's why I'm saying specifically, like, all the D-list and C-list people that they will not use. Like,
but here's what happened, though. It took them all these episodes to drag out. Now, I love Lost, but I think Lost did some stuff to TV.
I fucking love Lost, too. I think I used your Blu-rays for that, too.
You did. Did some stuff for TV for a long time, and we're still feeling it in S.H.I.E.L.D., is the need to drag the stuff out. So, half a season of S.H.I.E.L.D. to introduce 2 barely real comic book characters that nobody knows or care about into your show.
All right,
hold on.
No, I want to hear that. I want to hear the reaction from like the pro S.H.I.E.L.D. people, which we won't hear.
Whereas Flash and Arrow can have Rainbow Raider and Raja Ghul and Reverse Flash and every Z-list or A-list character that they want to at any time, and that to me is made, especially Flash, just A+ across the board. Well, now the show could still suck.
No, I agree.
But
with
the fact
what
that the fact that they're able to take whatever character they want and use it, whatever they want, has put S.H.I.E.L.D. very low on that list, and has put Flash and Arrow very high on that list.
Just look at a character that we haven't really even seen in Flash, but has been dropped twice, and that's Grodd. Yeah, it was dropped in the pilot, and it was dropped in a flashback.
If they were going to have...
Oh, please, boring. He was dropped in the pilot. They showed his cage.
If they were going to have... If the Flash TV show was going to tie into the movies, they couldn't use Grodd and Reverse Flash and all these characters because they would be saved for the movies.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I'm saying boring. Look, I totally agree that Arrow... So I haven't seen... Look, this is all from reading Entertainment Weekly and websites. So, like, my knowledge is only half there. But, you know, I've heard that Arrow and Flash set the fucking gold standard. S.H.I.E.L.D. and Constantine suck.
Constantine's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I love Constantine.
Right on. I'm just telling you what. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, dude, it angers me. No, that's too strong. It frustrates me that S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't have all these Z-list people. Like Deathlock was never going to be used in a movie. Put him in the show. But by the way, you have like 1,000 other dudes that you could also put in the show. Why wouldn't you pay lip service to all the geeks watching the show? And I don't know if Sky just needs her screen time or what, because I gotta watch more of the show. But
the funny thing about the show, it feels like a comic show that was made before Iron Man. This feels like this would have been an awesome comic show in like 1998 or 2000.
Well, but dude, I heard that they had the Hydra thing that tied in with like the release of Cap,
and that was really
awesome.
good.
And I heard that they had all this Agent Carter stuff, and I heard that they have this Mockingbird stuff and this upcoming Speedball stuff. So they're like, so they're getting there
a little bit.
Whereas I need them to have been there last season.
Exactly.
But I've heard that this season is head and shoulders way better than last season.
It is. But it's still it needs to pick up the pace. They dragged out these things so long, and Flash.
But fuck, dude, Flash and Arrow. Oh, sorry, I only saw season 1 of Arrow. But Flash, I've just loved.
What you think is going to be like the show length suspense for Flash, we're halfway through season 1 and they're already talking about it. So it'd be like them figuring out all the stuff on the island halfway through season 1 of Lost. And they're like, now let's move on to more plots.
Don't liken it to Lost. Lost has a special place in my heart.
I know.
But look, I think part of that is the fact that the creators on Arrow and Flash have pretty much, they pointed to Lost and pretty much said, people don't have the patience for Lost anymore.
And I think that's
last week.
And I think that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. needs to get to the point a lot quicker.
The thing with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the problem I had initially in the beginning was that S.H.I.E.L.D. was reactive to what was going on in the films. We was reacting to the technology. They were hunting this down, doing all this stuff, and it was kind of like you said, it's where DC is separating the continuity between the movies and the TV. It's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of stuck in this, there's going to be movie continuity that we're going to tie in with, so we can't really do this. But they were focused so much on that they lose out on the fact that, yes, there is a ton of characters, C, D, E, F, all the way down to Z, that they can use and just ingrain in the show. And then when, a movie comes out, we can tie in with them
Well, there should be a master list.
That nice basis.
There should be a master list for the TV shows for S.H.I.E.L.D.
There should be a master
that are like,
list.
do whatever you want with these characters. We're never going to use them.
There should be a master list. And actually, that's a great point, is that Marvel sort of hamstrung themselves with the fact that it's all tied together.
Yeah.
So to your point about how it's actually good that it's not all
the
easy.
Agent Carter show is a great example of that's fine because that's all prior stuff. Like
Right.
that's all in the past. So they can have fun and do whatever they want with that show almost.
They're also selling that as a 8-episode miniseries,
just
which
a mini. Well,
to me is like that gets me really, really excited. The idea of like miniseries like that, I'm completely on board with. If they want to do tons of miniseries with Falcon and Agent Carter and all this stuff, totally on board.
Hell yeah.
All right, moving on.
Well, so what I did want to very briefly mention is what does happen in the finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. For the midseason is that they do find, I'm assuming, Atlan, some
Lost Inhuman City.
or Attilan. Yeah, Atlan is something else. Attilan.
Attilan.
Yeah, the Inhuman City. Yeah, the Inhuman City.
But not... See, if that was that city,
Or
it was not populated. So I just assumed it was a lost Inhuman City.
Inhuman City.
Dude, and who is it? Is it Sky?
And Sky is what the heck's her face? Daisy. But
That's so awesome. Quake.
Yeah, there you go. Quake.
Dude, how cool is that?
I have no idea who that is. She was in like one
What
issue
the
of Secret Wars, right?
Secret Warriors.
I never read that shit.
Dude, that was Hickman's fucking finest work.
I read like 2 issues and I did not like that book.
Sky
Dude,
is supposed
you
to be
have-
one of the girls from that.
You must
I read it. It was okay.
You must be a premature ejaculator. That was a great. What? That was a great.
A drinking premature ejaculator. That's what Ryan Higgins is on this podcast.
I didn't say drinking.
You said you were drinking earlier.
Oh yeah, I guess. But
Yeah,
dude, Secret Warriors was legit good.
It wasn't. No, I read it. It wasn't bad. But I don't remember this Daisy character.
I could not get into it.
She's the fucking main character.
She was that influential. I don't remember her.
Dude, you guys are.
No, I tried. I just didn't. I did not get into it, and I could not get into Hickman's S.H.I.E.L.D. book either. I found that book impenetrable.
Look, first of all, you're wrong about that, but only less so than Secret Warriors. Secret Warriors had its full run. I forget if Bendis started it and Hickman took over, or vice versa, but it was one of those two.
They both co-wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But dude, the children of like C and D list, like heroes and villains, like what a great concept. And I think like. Probably because they don't know about comics history before its time, like awesome, and they actually did stuff with it, and those characters are still bouncing around now. I mean, Daisy or Quake is still like second in command at S.H.I.E.L.D., second to Maria Hill. Like she's fucking. Dude, you are the worst. You don't know fucking anything about Marvel.
I've never seen this character before.
How do you fucking own a comic shop?
I really have never. Is she like in Avengers and stuff?
She's in fucking everything that S.H.I.E.L.D. is about.
I've never seen this character, and
everybody listening to this, and by everybody I mean 1% of you.
So here's my question:
tweet him and tell him he's fucking crazy for not knowing who this person is.
So this is my question: why the fuck didn't they just name her Daisy?
Well, I'll tell you exactly.
Because her fucking power is that she creates earthquakes. What the fuck?
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly why they didn't call her Daisy. Because they figured this out halfway through the season that, well, we got to make her someone that's actually a real character because no one cares about this character. So all of season 1, she was not this character.
Dude, I saw the
which
first.
Is fine.
To this day, I've seen the first 3 episodes of season 1.
Yeah.
And really wanted to like it. But I hated Sky more than anything.
Yeah, I don't care that they changed her and made her into this. That's fine. That's way more interesting to me.
Me too. I totally agree.
So, fine.
All right.
Anyway.
So they found a city,
Christ.
and we find out finally that Sky is some character.
Yeah,
in the
she's
Marvel
an
universe.
Inhuman. So.
Wow,
cool.
That is.
I mean,
awesome.
again, like
a very important fucking character, second to Maria Hill in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The fact that we now
slightly
have,
important, by the way.
We found her.
She fucking drives the helicarrier.
The fact that we now have multiple actual Marvel characters, and they are introducing more to me. That again, it's kind of like Arrow season 1, where it took them a little bit to get into it, but once they did, they've gone whole hog recently with this. So
yeah,
hopefully S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's just taking them way fucking longer than it took Arrow.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
Let's talk about the Arrow mid-season finale.
I know I saw spoilers
talk about this,
but
which was
pretty.
I mean, they've been building to this for a while, but we hadn't had a lot of Ra's al Ghul.
This was like the second time he's been on screen.
Right. We knew this was coming, but
is it Liam Neeson?
No, it totally should have been now. I don't mind this guy. He's a little different, but we're not. I'm still not 100% sure. Kind of
what his role is.
Yeah, I mean, you're.
Well, they've established he's old, even though he doesn't look it.
Yeah, well, we need to talk to Charlie about this.
He's a badass.
This guy, Charlie's the one that's like drooling over this. So.
Well, but but Arrow has to, is for the death of what's her face?
Canary.
The
Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. They need to, he had 48 hours to find her killer, or he had to go front Ra's al Ghul because that's one of his people, right? So he's like, well, okay, I can't. I'm gonna go fight Ra's al Ghul, and Arrow gets stabbed through the chest and pushed off the top of a cliff and dies. So there you go. That's Arrow.
Well, that's a spoiler, and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm waiting for him to get dunked in the Lazarus pit.
Well,
come out crazy.
What's even crazy?
You've got to know that as soon as Ra's al Ghul is in a TV show, the Lazarus pit is going to be a plot device.
Well, I love it.
Of course, we're going to get him resurrected in the Lazarus pit and all that. But I've heard some talk that actually Roy is going to be the main character for the next couple episodes, which is
I'm guessing what they're going to do, and
I'm
they've done
really
this
cool with that.
With a lot of other shows, is they've still had your sort of like main story arc, but the main character gets relegated to like those final scenes or whatever to sort of push his recovery.
Yeah. So,
well, and we've already kind of gotten a glimpse of it with Merlin, because Merlin, that was virtually, he's dead, okay, and then lo and behold, he's not. He's back, and well, how is he back? And he kind of doesn't really say much. So,
yeah, I'm very curious what they're going to do with Ra's al Ghul long term. I'm assuming he's the big bad of the season, although slow to introduce him.
I am very, very glad that they did continue with their plans and stuff, because that's the one thing I can say about what's going on right now in terms of DC and that kind of stuff is, yes, I completely agree with the thing of season 1 of Arrow, everything was fair game. But as Gotham gets picked up, all of a sudden, not quite everything is fair game. And as
I think it is.
Well,
they've said everything but Superman and Batman is basically fair for the most part.
I'm not saying they would have gotten to it, but the fact that they basically worked in the Clock King and Ra's al Ghul before Gotham got started.
I half expect Ra's al Ghul to be the bad guy in Gotham.
Yeah.
Just the way they're setting up the slow takedown of the city.
And that's sort of my point is I think that was sort of a concession they had to make because this stuff was already set up on Arrow before Gotham got started. Where I guarantee you, if Gotham had gotten started at the same time as Arrow, Ra's al Ghul would be nowhere near it.
It's possible, but like we were talking earlier,
well,
it feels
it's the same way they've kind of made it clear that, yes, that one cameo sort of thing you saw of Harley is all you're going to get.
Maybe.
It just feels very much like they're starting to do that segmentation they always do when it comes to these kind of properties.
But that's what we've been told is not happening, is that because these shows all exist on their own, they can do whatever they want. Now, I don't necessarily want Ra's al Ghul to be the bad guy in 2 shows simultaneously with different versions of the same character. I'm sure there's some conversation between them, but I think they can continue to use these characters kind of as much as they want.
I'm pretty sure Arrow is not allowed to use Harley Quinn.
Maybe.
I think the thing with Arrow is,
but didn't they?
Yeah,
it was a cameo,
like
really,
a shadowed
cameo.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's. I think that they're, like you said, they're not going to be full bore with using certain characters, because they'll be like, oh no, it's touched up. But I think there's a lot of characters that they can play around with that are not necessarily completely, have to be tied down to one, family, and that because they've been. To me, it's like if they're setting up outsider stuff with all the stuff we've gotten little drops and hints of and stuff like that, I'm like, fine by me.
And I think Outsiders is the perfect example of something that's definitely open to be used, but at the same time, the fact that they're working on a Titans show on another network basically means all those rumors about Dick Grayson are probably no longer true.
I never thought that was going to happen. But I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm just saying that there was sort of this much more broad sense when other networks were not picking up these shows.
Yeah. We're running a little longer here than I wanted to, so we're going to...
That's because Arrow and Flash are awesome and worth talking about.
And we got to talk about Flash, because as you'll hear next week in our... as you hear in 2 weeks in our top comic book, TV shows, movies, and game-related stuff and all that of the week, because next week's episode is our top comics. But Flash has... I don't want to say it's taken over Arrow, because, man, Arrow's good, but Flash is so good. And this mid-season finale, like we were talking, is kind of the antithesis to what they're doing in S.H.I.E.L.D. This is just ramped up to stupid crazy levels, giving us the big bad. A major character has been, kind of revealed. Like... Again, I've said this all season long, and no pun intended, but this show is so fast and does not slow down, and I love it. It does not a break, and it just moves at such a great clip, and it's like bam, 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 tons of good stuff in every episode. And this episode was no joke. So we get Reverse Flash,
yep,
fully, and not surprising to most people.
Is it fully? Because
yeah, it is.
Because we don't know because he doesn't actually put that suit on.
Yeah.
So it might not be him.
Okay, here's my current thought process on it.
Well, the belief, at least by the end of the episode, is that Wells, the professor, the guy in the wheelchair, is Professor Zoom, is the Reverse Flash.
I completely and totally am on board with that. I just don't believe there's necessarily either one of him or one Reverse Flash in the show.
It could be a time-traveling version of him, there's two of him running around.
Okay, so this is my theory. Because Wells seems so obsessed with the Flash and him having to stay on course, he's the one that's manipulating events. And so if you notice, he took that thing to charge the suit. So he's using the tachyon, the thing from Mercury Labs, which was a great little nod to the original Flash.
Yeah, it's the lady from... the actress is the lady from the 90s show.
Yep.
But
playing the same character.
He's charging the suit, getting Reverse Flash ready for somebody to wear. It could be him. It could be him. But it could also be, like Charlie said, there could be two people that are, two people involved in Reverse Flash.
From day one, I've said it's not Eddie Thawne. He's the red herring because that's his ancestor or something like that. He's Eobard Thawne. He's called H.G. Wells time machine travel. It's pretty obvious, but they could pull some total weird thing and it's totally someone else. You could be working with someone, but
watch it's Wally West.
No, I think it's pretty clear that it's him. Whether there's two of him, one from maybe further in the future, more powerful, that he's working with.
Well, and we also have the confusing thing of there's yellow and red with the scene where his mother dies.
The red is Flash.
And the red is Flash. So there's...
Well, that was the weirdest thing, actually.
Yeah.
If you pay attention as they're running, the trail of the Reverse Flash is red, and the trail of the Flash is yellow. Like, if you actually look at the electricity trailing them, they inverse the colors there.
Well, as far as we're led to believe, I seem to think that it's easy enough for Wells to be in two places at once because Flash pulled this off before. A little hard to, fighting himself, but...
not fighting, beating the shit
out of himself. But I think that's...
then being in two places where they... Yes, it's possible that the force field did not affect him at all, but at the same time, based on all the events, I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Well,
which is why I think there were two of him...
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing.
Mind you, it's either him or it could be somebody he manipulates or recruits to become.
And that's my money's on that it's Thawne, because there's a split second where Reverse Flash just stares down.
But again, he's
Thawne,
there and he says, "I'm not going to hurt you," and he says he's not going to hurt him because he's Wells' ancestor. He's Wells' great grandfather or grandfather or something like that.
Who knows? But it's like.
No, in general, there's.
I think people are overthinking.
Bryce's mind is over here being blown.
But that's the thing. I think people are just overthinking this. I think it's just him. I don't think they're going to make it.
I want to know what the heck's up with that ring.
Too weird.
It's
the Reverse Flash.
I love the ring.
I know.
Yeah, and he has like a straight up ring. So yay, Reverse Flash just has a flash ring. That's awesome. There's a flash ring. And yeah, it's totally the Hunter's element. We've talked about this before. That, I have to make sure he's the best hero he can be. In these episodes where he's like, oh, I thought his friends were a hindrance, but now I know that they can help him become better. He talked about this a few episodes ago. So, and I think we're just seeing more of this here that, we need to keep pushing him in this direction to be to become so much more powerful when he's younger, so he could stop the crisis, so he can fix all this stuff. And he's doing it for what Wells believes is probably good intentions, but still killing people and doing some bad shit. So I
thought Firestorm was
Firestorm.
awesome.
Oh, again, just full blown no Firestorm, and I'm gonna fly away. How awesome was that? Oh,
I
loved it.
So the stuff they're doing with Firestorm, I'm dying to know if he now has another voice in his head or not.
He totally does, and you're going to find out that Stein was in the reactor when it went off. I can't remember the actor's name, but it's an older gentleman, but he's actually I believe pretty not famous, but a well-known actor who's playing Stein.
I'm counting on this because it will seem entirely too wrong if they don't.
No, they will.
And I mean, I love that they're setting up that she's Frost.
Well, so the next episode post the break, she gets kidnapped by Captain Cold. You know what? As much as I love the way they're making this go so fast, I don't want her to go so soon.
Yeah,
I want her to stay.
You want Caitlin to stay a little bit longer?
Especially her and Felicity. I love their
relationship has started to develop a little bit.
So does Felicity show up on any more episodes? Because I saw the first episode where Felicity came over, and that was awesome.
She comes back for the crossover episodes.
Yeah, for the Flaros, and then
Flaro.
Oh, I heard about this fucking Flaro.
They're fucking good.
They're good episodes.
So my question about Flaro is, how are they going to do it if you're watching the Blu-rays that you borrow from Ryan?
Well, they're standalone. They're both one-to-one. They're not a crossover episode. It's not like part 1, part 2.
So like a great 90s X crossover.
Yeah.
So you can watch either of them. I mean, they reference each other, but you can watch
it's
them
not something where you have to have the information from.
So it's well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
They say it's part 1 and part 2, but it's part 1 and 2 of being Flaro.
Yeah. Not to mention a lot of times nowadays when they do releases that are like that with sort of like a to be continued on to the next show, they'll just include that episode.
Include it in that,
in the previously on.
Well, no,
they'll include it in the actual Blu-ray. So the one episode of Flash will be on your Arrow Blu-ray, and one episode of.
I'm surprised they didn't actually just release a standalone little $15 2 episodes.
I might stab them in the neck if they did that.
That sounds like my comic book binding. Not the stabbing the neck, but the adding extra issues to complete the story. # comic book binding.
All right. Yeah. We've had a lot to talk about this week. There's a lot of big stuff. So
I can't wait till next week. We're going to talk about comics.
We're going to wrap up, and then we're going to have.
Constantine was okay. Good.
No.
Boring. Constantine was great, but it was not a mid-season finale. It was just
another episode.
It was the first half of a 2-parter. And they're coming back for 6 more episodes. I believe
didn't they get signed for another season?
No, I believe they've aired 9, and they have 13. No, I believe they aired 8, so they have 13 total, so 5 left. And then, January, February, we'll know if they get picked up for season 2.
Okay.
So,
I heard some news that they're going to get picked up.
So the bottom line with a show like this is it depends on what kind of ratings other shows get in its time slot.
Oh, no, but also genre.
Well, yeah, but the fact of the matter is it's got good enough ratings to keep going if they don't have something they feel will get better ratings.
Because what Constantine loses on Friday night at 10 is a lot of the 20-something demographic. But that 20-something demographic is coming back and watching
they've
streaming and they have their numbers for like TiVo and all that are huge.
They said their non-live watching is great, and their numbers for live watching has actually gone up. It went up for this little break episode. So yeah, it went up to the 1.0. I don't remember how the whole ranking system works, but it's gone up. So I'm hopeful. And then the creators are online and the producers are online all the time talking about it, and they seem pretty hopeful.
And that guy is the best Constantine ever.
He's awesome. He's so good. Yeah.
Well, I can only tell you what I, again, read in Entertainment Weekly, which seems to have its finger on the pulse of
nothing.
Well, one of you two does. And it says that Constantine is subpar.
Yeah, the reviews have been I think Rotten Tomatoes has it like an 80%. I think there's like 80 or 85%.
It's incredibly high.
Metacritic has it as 70. So there's different aggregators out there, but it's
I haven't looked at Metacritic, which I like.
Flash is like 96% or something like that.
Really?
on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. So.
Well,
these are great shows.
The Flash is legit.
Yeah, and
I'm not even done with it.
Continue to with the breaks and everything. We'll have some time to maybe discuss a little bit more if you have any questions about any of the shows or you have any theories about Wells or any of these other characters.
He's Rip Hunter on the long one.
That'd be cool. Anyway, you should go listen to this episode and all our previous episodes at geekbox.net and comicsconspiracy.biz. You can discuss this episode on forums at geekbox.net and the Facebook group. Just search for Geekbox. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. You can buy our digital comics there. Go in there, we get a nice cut. I should also say, for people that are interested in Harley Quinn, in February we're having a special Harley Quinn variant month that DC's doing, where 22 of their books are going to have Harley Quinn variants. You can see them all online. We are offering a special deal through the store. We've done this a few times before, where we're going to have all 22 books for $69.99 and tax, free shipping to anywhere in the U.S. We can't do international shipping, sorry, because it's just too expensive. Unless you want to pay like $50 for shipping, then I'll gladly do it. But it's so expensive for heavier packages out of the country. And yeah, it's you're basically getting like 2 free comics at that price. And and we'll ship you all of these variants. These are not limited like a 100 variant, but they are limited to kind of first printing. So not every store is going to get these. A lot of stores probably won't. They're all really cool covers. So they just announced I think March is the Warner Brother movie cover month, where they're DC comic parodies of. No, they are. You're all shaking your head. Have you seen those covers?
I've seen those covers.
They are
it's painful.
Oh, they are so good, dude. The Joker in the mask pose with the hat is like the most perfect cover. Brock's favorite is the I know Brock's favorite is the Magic Mike cover with the Justice League with all their shirts off with just the logos on their chest.
That's Brock's favorite?
That's Brock's favorite. He ordered 3 copies already. He ordered the 9.8 CGC version.
Why would that be my favorite? I didn't even know what Magic...
It's a joke, son.
I know it's a joke. It's horrible.
It's a joke. There's an awesome Justice League Dark, that's the Beetlejuice cover.
Oh, that's cool.
You're not going to mention the Green Lantern one?
The Green Lantern one is good. The 2001 Space Odyssey. That is a good... They are literally all fantastic. Wonder Woman is, of course, 300. Doing that 300, the pose from the cover of 300.
Nice.
Yeah, they're all awesome. The Harley Quinn ones are really great too, but we're going to offer special deals. Should be the same price for both. You can go to comicsconspiracy.biz and pre-order those through PayPal. And we'll ship those out end of the month once they're all compiled. So,
how are the Darwin Cook covers doing for you?
Okay, not great.
They're beautiful.
They are beautiful, but they're flipped. They're sideways. I thought they were going to be wraparound covers.
If they were honestly wraparound, I probably would have bought more.
Yeah,
I haven't even bought one.
I'm so disappointed. Just with they're beautiful covers, but they laid them out.
You mean they're horizontal?
Yeah. Have you seen this?
No, but that fucking sucks.
It's a detective one right there, right above you. Yeah.
Oh,
the text is sideways. The issue number, like everything is sideways on the text. It just looks. It's such a good cover. I love them so much.
It's great art.
Yeah.
But,
if they had just wrapped it around.
How do you fucking bind this? No, I'm just playing.
So,
kind of.
They had to advertise Lego Batman apparently bad during the holiday season.
Yeah, then they probably did.
Dude, I played Lego Marvel Superheroes.
I guarantee you, Lego Batman made more money than all of DC Comics for like 6 months worth. Okay, so they have to advertise Lego Batman.
Dude, have all these Lego movies
games?
Lego video games? Sorry, although the movies are probably also incredible.
Huge.
But I just played Lego Marvel Superheroes with Kelly.
Fun.
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
are the Batman ones just as good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to play them then because this last one was awesome.
If you want, you can also go to patreon.com/comicconspiracy and donate to us there. We have a bunch of people on there, a bunch of backers, a bunch of different tiers. Get some comics, get some Q&A threads, get some, I got to put the names on our
Bring back random picks.
podcast.
Come on.
Yeah, get some money up there and we'll do that.
Look, if you go to Starbucks once or twice a month and you drop $3 or $4, every time you go, instead of going to that, you could listen to your favorite podcast, which is a separate one, but you could listen to your second favorite podcast, which is this one, and help support your comic book loving brethren.
Yeah.
And we last way longer than a cup of coffee, unless you're a slow drinker.
We do. Don't forget to go to conspiratobrock.com. That's Brock's blog. Comicsintokind.com. Omar, we miss you, bro. Good luck on your flight out. It got delayed a little bit, but I think he should be in the air maybe as we record. Infinite Longbox Podcast and The Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension. That's Charlie's comic book. And Doctor Who Podcast. Those are two separate podcasts. One about comics, one about Doctor Who. Go listen to those.
Combine them.
No.
A little Flaro experience.
The Infinite Fourth Dimension Podcast.
Wandering infinitely in the fourth dimension.
Wandering infinitely in the Longbox.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan on Twitter. Brock is Brock Sager. Omar is Comics Into Kind. Go say hello to Omar. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby, who hopefully should be back in a couple of weeks. Toby's sick. He's got a bunch of problems right now. Toby, hope you're feeling better. It's Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Don't forget to listen to the Geekbox Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the All Talk Podcast, other podcasts on our little network. So go listen to those. We'll be back next week for our top 9 comics of 2014 and some other little comic news stories. So if there's anything, that's all we got. We'll see you guys next week.